What's that?
Like what? You just invented a word there. But yeah, I think Mpox. You've been our kind of Mpox correspondent, Julde. We've been getting to know people like Jean Kaseya, who's the head of the Africa CDC. He's been giving lots and lots of interviews to the international media, then being given updates on a regular basis, and they set out a map which shows all the countries where Mpox has kind of popped up, but as luckily for us at the moment it's still negative, and we hope it remains that way.
Even though it's so close, isn't it?
Liberia,
Nigeria,
and
Cote d'Ivoire.
But really, the scandalous thing is, even after COVID-19, all we talked about how we should respond, a global response. Yet it's been very difficult to get the vaccine. When did Nigeria get it? Nigeria first got it in Africa, even though it was DRC, DR Congo, where they first
and they
discovered
had the highest number of cases.
The strain, 17,000, the last number, infected, 610 dead. Stuff like that.
Now it's
so it's just an extra. Now it's move on. Of course, it keeps on going up. So this is really the scandal. Really, everything, each episode of experience we've got, you realize that you people, you are vulnerable. You rely on the West, and then you have your conferences and agreements and sign them and all of that. But once the issue comes up, once you find yourself in an emergency, God, it was as if you learned nothing.
Right. And yet we kept saying that, COVID has taught us this, has taught us that.
But it hasn't really
It's taught us some lessons that we've probably learned. But again, like even for example, when foodstuffs and imports couldn't come in and wheat, grain couldn't come, we thought, okay, this was taught Africa that we need to grow our own stuff. But I don't get the sense that that is even happening. So yes, I'm not sure it taught us anything other than we suffered and we remember the suffering, really.
Okay. So we'll continue with the newspaper review. Apparently the police PRO is on the line to give us an update on the mother of a 14-year-old child in Basse, URR. Good morning, Mr. Sisaho.
Yes, good morning.
What is the latest update as far as the mother of a 14-year-old is concerned in Basse?
Thank you very much. The case is a very peculiar one because I haven't looked at the scenario, what actually the investigation has covered. A 14-year-old in the act of disciplining the person, having to beat someone of that age, it's very concerning. And for this, the Gambia Police Force has done once again very tremendous job having on cover 24 hours, having to have the participant of access to the crime. It's currently with the police. And as I speak to you, the investigation is almost concluded, waiting on the magistrate, because at the rural area we have one magistrate, who is the regional magistrate, visiting for the case to be mentioned before him, and then it will be transferred to the High Court for prosecution. So this is what is happening with this case. And also the dead body of I would be taken to ban autopsy because for
the line is bad.
Yeah, the line. We can barely hear you. But do your plenary investigation, do you happen to know the what led to the death of the child? Because online has it that...
don't tell them. Let him tell you.
Yeah. That the child was beaten to death. Is there anything to go by?
Yes. We are saying that you are listening to me very clearly.
Yes. We are struggling to hear you.
In short, let me just recap what I said. What I was saying is that it's a peculiar case because a 14-year-old been beaten to death. That's what is uncovered.
Yeah.
The person contests to have beaten the child in the act of beating the child, a 14-year-old, because he's a stubborn. He alleged that the child is stubborn, will come on time, with the moving and all that. In that act, he actually took the child to an incomplete compound where he was able to make it possible that no one would hear the child shout. Maybe he covered the mouth of the child or whatever. But in that up to a stage where, unfortunately, the child collapsed. It's when the child collapsed, he called for help, actually. He called for help, they took the child to the hospital and came up with a scenario, a story that the child fell from height. But medically, when they looked at it, they uncovered, they removed the organ, and they realized that that's not the case. These are marks of British somebody. And similarly, that was the reason why the police were informed. The hospital called on the police came in, and the police were on the ground. Who came with the child were arrested. And later on, the third person was also arrested. But it was one of them, Kamu Hydra, confessed that he did this. He actually picked up the child up to the level that the child was helpless, fell down, and that led to the death of the child. As we speak, I was saying that the body would be taken to Bantu or post-mortem because it's important for the prosecution of medical examination. And secondly, investigation is almost completed. If you are aware, regionally, at the regional level, we have one magistrate or traveling magistrate. On the magistrate, then is represented, is mentioned to the court, and it will be transferred to the High Court criminal institution for proceedings. What has happened.
So, what is the relationship between the child and the alleged murderer?
Alleged murderer.
Well,
their relationship.
The suspects.
Yes, I can certainly tell you exactly their actual relationship because it's not something that's covered in the report that we received. But certainly, having to know our culture and the way and manner in which we live in this country, it is obvious that it's somebody who is a relation, it's a family member. That's what to be specific and say whether it's an uncle or it's a dad or a brother. I can't say that it's not what I have to think.
Okay. Yeah, I think because of the line.
Thank you, Mr. Sisao.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Wow.
Yeah.
Disciplinary measures, huh?
It's, we've seen people beaten quite severely, but nothing to this extent. And of course, the person tried to concoct, allegedly, a story that the child fell from a height, but obviously the bruises revealed otherwise. And now this person has now confessed. I guess we wait and see what happens next. But it's quite a shocking tale. And but you're right. Many people had been asking the question, what is the relation? Is this a relative? Is it a father, son, whatever? It might be an uncle. We have these people who are wards of ours. People say, oh, look after my child. We don't know whether that's the situation. But I guess, as I said, if you go online, that's the question many people have been asking, and you were right to ask that. Unfortunately, at the moment, we don't know. But what we do know is a 14-year-old has been killed in what seemed to be quite shocking circumstances.
And there, I think I heard he said they arrested, 3? Is it?
3, yes. 3.
Something like that, 3 of them. So they should be prosecuted.
They were all helping with the investigation. And one of them confessed to have. That is Kamu Haidara. So, moving on, seems we have the Ministry of Higher Education. They issued a press release yesterday on the Moroccan students' funds. And it reads, on the Moroccan students' top-up, records indicate that the Office of the Accountant General transferred the funds to the Central Bank of the Gambia on the 19th of August 2024 for, no, it's a short one, for onward transmission to the Gambian Embassy in Morocco. Yeah, that is the funds for the students who are in Morocco.
The students had put out a release themselves, much longer one, complaining about the fact that they were lacking funds. And as they said there, they weren't asking for any favors. They were asking for what they were due and what should have been paid to them. And in response, the ministry, although the press release doesn't say how much has been released for this, and whether it covers all their demands or not. But yeah. We saw the one from the students, and then very quickly we saw the one from the Higher Education Ministry.
Education, yeah.
So,
but it seems to me, reading this, what the Ministry of Higher Education is really doing here is that, well, it's got nothing to do with us.
It's Treasury. It's Treasury.
Isn't it?
They're blaming Treasury.
Exactly.
Treasury,
yeah.
So it's really nothing to do with us. It's about somebody
and they say,
else.
you know, they've been in communication with Treasury about the transfer. So if there had been a delay in the transfer, they might have been snagged up somewhere at the Treasury. Doubtless before the end of the day, we'll probably get a press release from the Treasury
to say
explaining their part of it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much longer we have to go, but I was just going to say that one of the stories which caught my eye from the newspaper was that in Senegal, Ousmane Sonko has banned television in offices. And I'm not sure how well that will go down with people who are used to having TVs in their offices. But he's apparently banned it. It's in the is it The Point newspaper? Prime Minister Sonko bans TV in offices. Yeah. So yeah, that's an interesting. Many offices these days, you go, there's a TV. We kind of take it for standard. So whether he says this is harming productivity or not, I'm not sure. But the headline certainly says.
When Azim, so I would love to know what studies have been conducted to know this. Anywhere you go in the world, really.
Yeah, it's standard.
Like that. So how significant is this? I'm not sure.
We have the director at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Higher Education, Anthony Mendy, to give us an update on the ministry side as far as the funds for the students in Morocco is concerned. Good morning, Mr. Mendy.
Yes, good morning. And how are you?
We're fine, alhamdulillah.
Good.
So what's the latest update? The Ministry of Higher Education issued a press release yesterday to say that the funds actually in question are with the Treasury. What can you tell us about that?
Thank you very much. As I say, my name is Mr. Anthony G. Mendy. I'm the Director for Tertiary and Higher Education. With regards to the updates on the issue regarding the Moroccan students, I'm pleased to inform you that the Moroccan students are on the government scholarship through the Moroccan AMSI department. The AMSI department is in charge of scholarships in Morocco, who award scholarships to various programs that is tenable in various institutions in Morocco. Okay. Normally, in terms of the scholarship, students are given stipend in Morocco. All students who have that scholarship are entitled to a stipend, and this is given by the Kingdom of Morocco. The government of the Gambia, upon that, gives a top-up, an annual top-up, to all those students that fall also under the category of the Gambian scholarship through the Moroccan award. Now, those who stay in campus are given an amount of money that is different from those who rent outside. So this is the package we give. But as of the information regarding their stipend, the ministry had an issue in terms of the numbers of students who were registered under the scholarship. And we had a verification mission that was sent to Morocco to verify. Now, this took time before the information was verified. And upon completing the verification, the accounts office of the Ministry of Higher Education processed the payment. And this was sent to the Ministry of Finance, as you received from the instructions to the central bank. This was sent to the central bank on the 19th of August. I'm currently having the instruction information from Treasury, dated 19th August 2024. And for your information, the embassy, which is responsible for disbursing these funds, is aware of this information that has been sent to the central bank. Thank you.
So how many students are involved here, and how much are we talking about?
Well, I cannot give you in terms of the monies, but I know that the number of students that have been verified goes beyond 80 students. Beyond 80 students. And these students, those who stay in campus, are given $900. Those who stay out of campus are given $1,200. This is a top-up, okay? When you say a top-up, that means that they already have stipend given to them under the Moroccan scholarship. So this is just to support them for other needs that they might have. Okay?
May I just come in, please? Earlier on, you said that there was an issue about verification of some sort. Can you go into details with that? What do you mean by that?
No, with regards to the verification, we had the list of students that we have presented to the ministry. We discovered that it was more than the number of awardees that passed through the ministry.
So there was a fraudulent claim to scholarship. Is that what you're saying?
Possibly.
But what I can tell you
possibly.
That the number was beyond what was provided here. So we needed to verify it and clean the data. I think we had to send a team. The team went up to Morocco. Some students we have seen, some we have not seen. Some students had to make calls because they were very far away from Rabat or from the point where the staff of the ministry were located. So after the verification, the number was trimmed down, okay? Those are the ones we call eligible candidates under the scholarship. And these are the ones that will be paid for. Thank you.
Okay, that's it. So are you saying that that's one of the reasons for the delay?
Yeah, it's also one of the, because upon arriving in Morocco, we couldn't get all the students. And if at all, we just have to just take a decision on those that we have seen facially, we will not have served the purpose of going there. So we have to give them time upon arriving back to the Gambia for them to make calls. Because we couldn't see some of them there. So they have to make calls for us to ascertain that they are there and they are still pursuing their programs, okay? Because we need to know that students have to be within the universities and to pursue their programs before they are entitled to receive this stipend.
Absolutely, absolutely, granted. Yeah. But just finally, now how would you respond to this? This issue has become persistent and intolerable, worsening each year. Does it mean that this sort of thing's been happening each year?
Well, we hope henceforth, I think all the authorities would put hands on deck and ensure that this is a thing of the past.
But okay? Why has it been worsening each year?
Because it's for the good of our citizens. When they go out, we see how best we can support them. So we used to ensure that at least when we provide data, the data should be reliable for us at least to be able to work. Because whatever we do here, it has to pass through the audit system. They'll be questioning this because without your award letter, especially, it means that you are not entitled to a scholarship. So all those who have gone through this scholarship are normally given an award letter. That will say that you have a contract with the ministry from this period to this period. Okay? And when it finishes, the stipend stops there. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mendy.
Okay.
Thank you.
So viewers, that update there takes us to a commercial break. When we return, the program continues.
Looking for internet for your free videos, pictures, chats, work, and school projects? Think free night browsing. QCell's free night browsing lets you browse the internet for free. Oh yeah. Get a data SIM, recharge a minimum of $500 and enjoy free browsing after 24 hours from midnight to 6 a.m. every night for 30 days. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. It's happy time. Get 50% off all any network. Enjoy calls every day to any network from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Is it too good to be true? QCell. We innovate, others follow. As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, Gambia's trusted network. QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Get a QCell SIM card for free. Yes, absolutely free. Walk into any of our customer care centers and get a SIM free of charge. With a QCell SIM card, you can get the fastest and the most reliable internet plus wide range of amazing services. So rush now to any of our care centers and get a free SIM now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you been looking for the perfect indoor router with long-range Wi-Fi coverage and faster internet speed connecting all your smart devices? Well, we present to you the QCell Indoor Router, a router that has all you need and much more. For just $4,275, you can get 4G plus internet speed, wide coverage, and connect up to 15 devices.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV This Morning program coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. And after talking to the police PRO and of course the Director of Evaluation at MOHAS about the student stipends in Morocco, we are shifting now our attention to the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, and I have Andrew Gomez, who is the Director of Evaluation at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, to talk to us about the recently released WAS results. And this time around, I'm glad to say that they have been so impressive as far as the performance of students is concerned. So good morning, Mr. Gomez, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, and thank you for welcoming me.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
So talk to us about this year's WAS results.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure being here on behalf of the Permanent Secretary and the Minister for Basic and Secondary Education. The Ministry is really grateful to everyone, every Gambian, for what the achievement has been this year. Actually, in short, I can say we have realized an impressive improvement in terms of students' performance in the WAS this year. That is the West Africa Senior Secondary School examinations that has just been released about a week ago. And of course, the pleasure is ours to say. We are grateful to our teachers. We are grateful to the parents as well. And we are grateful to everyone who made it possible for us. But in general, or in a nutshell, I can say we have realized some good improvements in terms of students' performance, especially in the peculiar subjects of interest that we've been focusing on. Going on the area of mathematics and English language, we've seen a very impressive improvement, and we really thank God for that.
What really led to this? What have you been doing differently? Because you mentioned that 23.8% of the candidates got credits in mathematics. this is the highest achievement that is recorded in a decade. What have you been doing differently to warrant this?
Well, thank you. We've seen improvement in the performance of students in mathematics, as you highlighted, both for the male and the female categories. I think the credit, as I said, goes to the heads of schools and their teachers, because these are the people on the ground who made it happen. And at the level of the schools, you can really see that teacher training is we've been focusing on. And also the monitoring in terms of seeing that teaching and learning is effectively implemented in schools has been one of the reasons as well. Because when you monitor rigorously the process of teaching and learning, especially in areas that you are interested to see that you need improvement in the areas. So the monitoring at the level of the school, the monitoring at the level of the clusters, and the monitoring at the level of the regions, even at headquarter level, had been one of the reasons why we've seen some tremendous improvement. And also, you realize that when we talk about teacher training, we cannot leave out the quality of teachers that are being supported by both the government of the Gambia and partners, and especially MRC Holland, in sending the teachers at senior secondary schools to university. Of course, there is added value on teachers, which we have seen over the years paying dividend. So we are really grateful, and I think the better the teachers, the better the students we expect, because the quality of your teachers determines the quality of your education system. So those are things that has been in place, and the attention also by the heads of schools in supporting the teachers in those subject areas, especially for math and English. You will see in most of the board schools, we realize we have scarcity of mathematics teachers in the Gambia, and even in the area of English language and science as well. So you realize that the boards are also supporting in terms of giving some remunerations for those teachers to retain them in the school so that they can also perform well. So those are some of the things that have been working on well. And also, I cannot forget the parents as well, because over the years we've been crying for solidarity between the ministry and the well. So we also have what we call, we cancel students at school, and we believe the parents are also doing something, because we have seen a little bit of change in the attitude of students towards their learning.
But when you are to give a comparison before coming, the public-private schools, which ones performed more? We need to know, like, where the grades are coming from, whether it's the private schools or the public schools.
Well, it is always associated with the public schools. But when you look at an in-depth analysis of the results, you realize the public schools are the private schools. And the private schools are equally as good as public schools. But I tell you that the public schools are performing better when you look at the statistics. You might, it is always of public view that when you see a few students popping up from the public schools with 9 credits, and then you believe, oh, the first person is from this school, this is the best. Now you need to look at the overall results, the overall performance of all the students who registered for that particular exams in each school. And if you do that,
which is 18,042?
Yes, 18,042 candidates were those who registered. But actually we had 16,911 who actually sat to the exams. But that's the global figure. That's the national figure. And also looked at in terms of gender. But you'll realize that before you conclude that this school is the best school, you need to look at the overall performance of all the students in the school, not just an individual student who pops up with a 9 and then we say, oh, this public school is one of the best, or this private school is one of the best. You need to look at the entire results to be able to determine which school performs better. And that's not the only yardstick. You also need to look at the entry of students at grade 10, right? There are some schools who will set their their cutoff mark at aggregate 16 from grade 9, right?
Yeah.
That's the best, that's the worst they can take. And there are schools also who will say, we want to enroll every student who comes to our school, even if you have 54. You have a right to be in school. Now, looking at the performance of a student who was enrolled in grade 10 with aggregate 54, and that student is able to move to have 5 credits at grade 12, right? And compared to a student enrolled in grade 10 with aggregate 16 from grade 9 and was able to get 7 credits in grade 12, you need to look at how much contribution has the school done to impact knowledge in those children to improve. Already, with those with aggregate 16, we believe they are already good ones. You just need to polish them and they move on. But somebody with aggregate 54, a school enrolling as many of those students as possible and being able to change them, to support them, to impact knowledge in them, to move from aggregate 54 to score 6 or 7 credits in grade 12. Who does a better work?
Speaking of cutoff mark, a few years ago, students who have a specific mark, whether you have 54, you're allowed to go to the next grade. Is that still effective, or now you've changed that policy?
Well, it's not a policy per se, where the cutoff mark, sometimes, especially with board schools and schools like the Nusrat, the Gambia High Schools, the
St. Peter's,
you know, of course, quality is a choice, you know, as everyone's choice. We want to have the quality. But you realize that in our public schools, constitutionally, all students have a right to education, and they should be given the opportunity to complete at least basic education and even senior secondary school education. So we still have some schools who are admitting students with very poor aggregates because students have a right to be in school. So we encourage them, and that is where the challenge comes for the teachers and the school administration, to make sure that they are change agents, you know, because they are destiny shapers. And of course, having aggregate 54 in grade 9 doesn't mean you are a bad student, or you cannot read, or you cannot do something. Something may have been responsible for your failure. And you'll be surprised that if you do a tracer study of the students' performance in grade 12, there would have been some students with aggregate 59 from grade 9, 54 in grade 9, who would be able to move to have 5 credits and have university entry. You can still have that. So we need to give them a chance, and that's what we're encouraging the schools to do.
Mr. Omaru?
Absolutely. Of course, you can have all sorts of outcomes, but you realize that statistically, there wouldn't be many.
Yeah, sure.
Now let's look at the improvement you've been talking about. What percentage of students got 5 credits, including English and math?
Including English and mathematics.
Yes, 5 credits, including English and math. Isn't that the standard to get to university, right?
Yes. Just a minute. Performance trends. English and maths, where I have this. I want to go back to my statistics. Credit pass rate.
So, while you're looking at the statistics, in terms of the number of girls and boys, it seems like girls are outperforming the boys this time around too. But there is a disconnect as far as the secondary education is concerned. They will perform very well, but tertiary and higher education, girls are always left behind.
Well, perhaps they drop out for all sorts of reasons. You know what I mean? You have that social background, the norms, you gotta go get married. For instance, I once had this example when I was at QIT. I used to run Quantum Net Institute of Technology. We had this brilliant girl who had 5 credits, but then after she had done her IT, and then the father said, that's it for you, no more education, you have to go and get married. So she had to drop out. It was a lecturer who came in and said, look, do you think you can talk to this girl's father? So I tried, absolutely, so I tried all sorts of things to get the number to do stuff like that. But you know what I mean? So you have all sorts of norms that's really holding women, girls back.
Exactly.
That's
as far as attaining their tertiary and higher education
the
is
numbers.
concerned.
You want the numbers to move on.
Yeah.
But anyway, Mr. Gomez, would you say we've sort of improved from last year's numbers?
Yes, we have improved from the last year's numbers. I was trying to look at the actual percentage, including maths and English, and I think I'll get that very soon from the statistics. I want to be exact. But we have good improvements in terms of what happened the previous years and this year. Like when you look at the performance in mathematics this year, when you look at the gender bit of it, you have for the boys, for English language, like in 2023, you could see the pass rate. Okay, let's start from 2022. Those with credit in English language were actually 46.2%, and in 2023 it dropped to 28.8%. But in 2024 we have 47.9%. So that is an improvement in English language. All right, that is the credit pass rate in English language. And then when you look at the the girls or the female. In 2022, their credit was actually, the pass rate, including credits, was actually 46.6%. And in 2023, they have 26.8%. But in 2024, they have moved to 47.5%. So you can see the leap in English language. And bravo to the girls, they're doing well. And you also go for mathematics, as you asked. In 2022, for the boys, you would see 26.1%, and then in 2023 was 23.4%, which was a drop actually, and in 2024 is 58.9%. So you can see the jump again. The jump again. Exactly. And then for their female counterparts, having 22% in 2022, and then they dropped slightly to 19.8% in 2023. But look at 2024, they have moved to 56.3% for mathematics. So it's like almost 50% done so well. And then the same thing with the sciences. And the sciences, you have 2022 for the male, having the pass rate including credits is 66.3%, and then dropped slightly in 2023 to 59.5%. And again, in 2024, we have seen them registering 59.6%. So there's a slight increase.
There is a slight.
Again, for the female, having 63.8% in 2022, dropping in 2023 to 54.7%. And then in 2024, they continue to drop by 53.4%. So on average, these were the areas of focus, and you can see that there is improvement in terms of.
So finally, before we take a leave of you, it is also stated that in as much as there has been huge improvement as far as this year's WAS results are concerned, 28 candidates in secondary schools are suspected of having examination malpractice. So what is the fate of these students?
Well, I think for the issue of the malpractice, it is suspected, but it's not confirmed to say it is a malpractice. You know, when you give an exam or assessment, you have students in statistics that you call their outliers. They perform extremely too well that you can't believe that they can do it. They can reach that level. So that could be something that the exams council can suspect and say, yes, we need to check this person, why he or she is able to get this course, right? And sometimes, yes, they do their own findings and realize that, yeah, they look at the track record of the student, they look at the performance history of the student to know that this student cannot get this result. Maybe could have been helped during the exams, or maybe with privilege of some questions before the examinations. All these are findings that the council will do, but that is at the level of the council. Yeah, and we also support them to ensure that let it be a fair exams for all.
Thank you.
Their fate is, until proven guilty, their fate still lies.
Innocent until
yes,
proven
innocent.
guilty. Thank you very much.
When you said malpractice, I thought, and I didn't spile. That's how we used to say it when we were younger.
Bad do they spile, Mr.
I once did, actually.
Sure.
I'm glad you're confessing to your crimes. Thank you very much, Mr. Gomez, for coming on this morning program. We really appreciate this. Well, viewers, we are taking a short commercial break. When we return, the program continues. To stay tuned.
Have you been looking for the perfect indoor router with long-range Wi-Fi coverage and faster internet speed connecting all your smart devices? Well, we present to you the QCell Indoor Router, a router that has all you need and much more. For just $4,275, you can get 4G plus internet speed, wide coverage, and connect up to 15 devices. And that's not all. The indoor router can be used for both office and home needs. So, enhance your internet experience with our indoor router. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus, we innovate, others follow.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Banking the smart way with the new Aji Bank mobile app. Transfer money.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV This Morning, and we have come to the last segment of this program, which is and we're looking at the recent election of the Sports Journalists Association of the Gambia, and they elected their executive, and Maigolo happens to be the president. Congratulations, Omaru.
Thank you very much, Jolda. Thank you.
Golo, what's up?
I mean, thank you. It's been a while. How are things? Good.
Alhamdulillah. So, talk to us about the recent election. What are the policies and programs that you have in place for the next 4 years?
Thank you very much. I mean, it's a lot of things that we need to do as an association. But first, we're embarking on reforms. The first step that we want to take as an association is to organize a sports convergence, where sports journalists across the country will come forward, have a say on exactly how we do things as an association. We want to make it inclusive because the past executive had an experience that was a bad one, and then a lot of journalists stayed back, and then that did not help the association. So there are a lot of things that we intend to do, but first, we think if we have this convergence whereby we have everybody on board, and then we're going to capture every voice for the betterment of the association. So it's not only us, in fact, it's about inviting key stakeholders in sports to say that, you know, this is an association that is here to listen to your voices, to protect you, and then to fight for your interest. So how do you want us to do this work? You know, so at the end of the day, we are going to pick it from there. And when we talk about reforms, it's not only about the constitution, but we have also structural reforms to do. So these are some of the things that we intend to do immediately in making sure that we have a clear roadmap to do. Yeah.
When you mention structural reforms, what exactly are you looking at?
Quite an important question. If you look at the SGAG, the membership, the list as of now, it's about 200 members. And if you videos or during the election day, members that attended were not up to 30 members, and that is alarming. So we are looking at that. How do we make it enticing? How do we make it attractive for the membership? So we are launching outreach programs to make sure that we have everybody on board. And then part of the reforms too is capacity building programs for our membership. Sports journalism is not the regular journalism, practice. It has its language, it has its skills and techniques. So these are the things that we need to look at as an executive, because every Gambian sports journalist should be part of the SGAG, and then at that, when it comes to that, we can be able to see exactly how we can help you. So, and also partnerships, because we have to work with partners as part of the reforms. We know, we have the GFF, we have the GNOC, we have the Sports Council, we have the ministry, and all of these partners are key to our aspirations. I mean, we're trying to make sure that when it comes to the GFF, we work with them, the NOC, we work with them, but all in the interest of the membership, So we have a lot of work to do. The key specific areas when it comes to the reforms that we want to effect,
When you mention capacity building, we know that it's very key. So when it comes to the issues at the Sports Journalists Association, what are some of the issues confronting sports journalists in this country?
There are many, but I'm going to mention few. I think welfare is one of them, and that's why we intend to visit these media chiefs, and also engage them on how best we can help or even support for these journalists to effectively execute their functions. But along the way, we also have to be very careful as sports journalists, because you cannot call yourself a sports journalist without knowing what is it all about. You need to be equipped, and how are you going to be equipped is the question, because most of the people that call themselves as sports journalists in this country are just coming from the classroom, the 12 newsrooms, but that the media chiefs don't have any problem with that, because they want spaces to be occupied, and people can just come and talk about Ronaldo and Messi anyhow, because you don't work for it. So what we are trying to encourage is us trying to develop our own sports, and by developing that, you have to be in the field. So achieve that, and then it's not about blaming media chiefs, but it's about us, who we are as a sports journalists, and then how do we make sure that we adhere to the principles, rules, and everything that governs it to make us better journalists. Because I believe if you call yourself as a sports journalist, you should be able to stand out, as a sports journalist. So these are the things that we want to inculcate in our membership. We are not a media house, but we are an association that is going to protect the interests. But along the way, we show you the way of this is how things should be done for you to earn your respect and for you to be a better and a proper sports journalist.
I wonder, how would you assess sports reporting in this country?
Tricky, quite tricky. Sometimes you'll be in your car driving and hearing some reports and you want to kick yourself off, to be honest. But there are few that are doing amazingly well. But people that are not doing it properly, I don't blame them. And I mentioned it earlier on that most of our media chiefs don't help because they don't care. We occupy that sports slot on our radio stations, So all that they want to do is maybe have partners, and Omar can come and say anything. So it's growing, because when you look around you see young faces. So the enthusiasm is there. It is not as it was then. You have Peter Gomez, the Malik Jones, and Tijan Masanis. He says Lamin Cham, you know. So
you're forgetting Sol Njai.
Sol Njai, you know, Sol Njai. You can name them. So the benchmark, it's not up to that. You have a few of them, you know, that are really working very hard to make sure that they keep these standards, and that's why we have a lot of work to do. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Good.
So when you talk about Omar Jaju, let's personalize these things a bit. Who is Omar Jaju, and why do you think you were elected?
Omar Jaju is just a Gambian sports journalist who lived, talk sports, love sports, started with West Coast Radio in 2012. That's the only media house I worked for until 2019 when I joined the Chronicle as a sports editor. So cover a lot of sports stories in and outside the country. But just to quickly answer your question on why I am leading the SGAG. In fact, it came at the last moment. I was part of the executive, and then all of us decided that we are not going to continue again. You know, but then the membership reached out to me on numerous occasions to say, okay, you cannot. Musa is stepping aside. You just have to serve 2 terms, and when Musa steps aside, who is going to lead us? You know, so we suggested names. I remember we went to the Lamin Chams. I said, no, we have Lamin Cham, we have Sang Mendy, we have senior men here. Why not we go to them? You know, but at the end of the day, it comes back to me. So at some level or at some point, you cannot say no. You know, maybe they've seen something that I can do, and I think I can lead a change, because it's an association that is so dear to me, and it's a field that I understand so much. My entire life is sports. I cannot do anything apart from sports reporting and journalism. So this is my domain, and nothing feels greater than leading something that you are proud to be, something that you eat, drink, and everything about my life is sports. So for me, it's home, and it's going to continue being home and passion for me.
So what is the one thing that you're going to do differently that no other executive have done before?
It's not me alone, it's a team. And I must say,
your executive.
I have a dedicated team. When you look in the executive, you see young people that are so much eager to effect change. And we share the same mission, the same values. We have so many things that we want to achieve. But as I always tell them, we have to manage our expectations along the way. There is a lot of work that needs to be done to move SGAG to the next level. The executive that was here, which I'm part of, did their part. We have a roadmap, and the roadmap, part of them I've mentioned them, and that is these reforms. That is key. And we believe we have to be opening doors. It has to be inclusive. I mean, it doesn't only end in the combos, it has to go to the rural areas, because you have radio stations across the country
I'm
now.
glad you mentioned that.
And there is 1, 2, 3 people that are doing sports. But how are you doing it? You know, is it only about international sports? Because remember, one of our responsibilities as Gambian sports journalists is to promote Gambian sports. And we cannot promote Gambian sports if you have an hour or so talking about Barcelona and Real Madrid. Those are established clubs, but we can talk about Real de Banjul, Fortune, Walidan. These are teams that our brothers and nephews are playing. So we have to make sure that we give a good profiling of these clubs Gina Baz, Ibrahim Aboja, and all these top Gambian athletes. You know, so these are the things that we want to make sure we change. Gambians need to support Gambians, and they have to understand the challenges. They have to understand what their athletes are up to, you know, by promoting them, and of course holding our authorities to account. You know, so it also has to do with integrity along the way. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Omar Jaju, for coming, and we wish you all the best in your endeavors as the president of the Sports Journalists Association of the Gambia. Mr. Mbouch, that is all we have time for.
Yep. Until
tomorrow for another interesting edition.
Tomorrow we expect Ibrahim
Balde, yeah. Balde, we wish you a speedy recovery, and we are hopeful that tomorrow you'll be here. So until we come your way tomorrow for another edition, bye-bye.